Now top journalist, sorry, Adrian Clark, who takes through the back pages. Clarky, good morning.
Good morning. Is it wrong for me to sort of smile a little bit that it's drizzly and a bit miserable at Glorious Goodwood? I was imagining, I don't know, the sun being out.
Well, that was yesterday, Clarky, but it's only 7:05.
Okay.
Give it, come 11 o'clock, Pim's time, whoosh, out comes Mr. Blue Sky.
Oh dear, you got me jealous. Yeah, no, I'll have to angle for an invite next year, eh? Right.
No chance.
No chance. Right, pundits, get off the sofa is the headline on the back page of the Daily Mail. FA tell ex-England stars be coaches, not pundits. Now, this story is doing the rounds today. We got in the Mirror TV6, FA nil, goggle bosses. It's basically Martin Glenn is urging former England players to snub punditry and take up coaching. He says it's all there for them. Well, why would they? I guess
most guys who are on the telly commentating on games would love to be still involved. There's no jobs out there for them. That's why they go on telly.
But they're not coaches, are they? They've not gone. I'd be interested to see how many of them have gone and took their badges so that they can go and take a coaching session.
Yeah. Well, Ryan Giggs
pause, Clarky. Here we go. First argument. So, are you telling me you need badges to have a bag of balls and put on a session?
Absolutely. When you walk out.
So look at the great managers you played under. Did you not learn off them?
Yeah, but to go out in front of 20 players and have the whole session organised and running smoothly, if you've never done it before and never experienced it before, it's so difficult.
Yeah, I'm with you, Alan Kirbishley, that is.
I thought you might be.
Invite you back in.
Sorry, Al. It's a completely different job, isn't it? I think it's more, you have to be a real people person, don't you? You have to understand lots of different characters. You have to be a bit of a psychologist. That's a huge part, isn't it?
Management, you tube. Don't start getting.
Not every ex-player. Just because you've been good at football, Alan, and amazing, and some of these guys have been tremendous at football. They've experienced World Cups, European Championships. It doesn't mean that they're great with people. It doesn't mean that they're able to organise a session.
So they can't get a job coaching then. If you're right, they can't get a job coaching, or they can't get a job as a manager. It's who you know now. So what else do they do? The ITV, BBC, Sky, they come and talk about the game, what's gone wrong. We're not talking about putting a session on, we're saying what's gone wrong. Yeah. What's wrong with that?
Yeah, well, look, you can't blame the players for doing that. They're being offered just as much money these days, aren't they, for talking on the TV. There's more job security. So many young managers, I mean, Alan knows this. I mean, you've had a long career in management, Al, but a lot of young guys, I remember speaking to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he was so nervous about taking his first job in English football because he knew he gets one shot at it. If it doesn't go well, and it didn't go well for him at Cardiff City, you're out and you're gone.
Well, nearly 60% up to nearly 60% of first-time managers never get another job.
Incredible.
By the way, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I'll swap his bank account. So what pressure did he have on him? They couldn't understand him?
And if you've got that much money in the bank, which these guys have, they don't need to work at all, do they? They're only doing it as a hobby.
I think what they're trying to get out, I think the FA is that you sit there and you criticise, quite rightly so, the performance, especially the Arsenal one. What else can you do? But come down, see what we're trying to do. I think they're trying to get him on board, and I think obviously Sam wouldn't have wanted that statement to go out unless he was happy with it for some of these fantastic ex-players to come and just get a feeling of what it's like to be in. They've obviously been there as players, but to come on the other side and see the situation from the manager and coach's side.
So, Clarky, let me ask you then, right? You're sitting in London, you're the expert. The Iceland game, what badges do I need to understand that the England players froze?
No, you don't need any badges. I mean, we could all see what happened there. But what you need, I guess, is to have the right words, to see things tactically there and then from the dugout and act upon it. There and then, and it takes a certain type of character. We saw Gary Neville at Valencia, brilliant pundit. He didn't always get it right, and he was there.
But that was a difficult job. I tell you now,
but
Gary
he was on that
England
bench. He was on that England bench, was he? I'm a fan of Gary, but he was on that England bench, and I'm sure he said things at half time in that, but he couldn't turn it around. It's not easy. I think it's an art form management. And look, a lot of these top guys at the moment, Mourinho, Klopp, they weren't big name players. I don't think it's that important, but that's my personal opinion. It would be lovely, don't get me wrong, if Steven Gerrard, Frank Lampard became managers, Rio Ferdinand, and were huge success stories. That would be awesome. But I don't see why it has to be, why we should be definitely seeking that, so to speak. Anyway, shall we move on?
I hope so.
Yeah, Man City, one of the best in the business, isn't he? Pep Guardiola. He's cracking the whip big time, according to today's press. The Sun, Pep Pop. Pot-belly City stars, not an easy one to say, that one. In the Daily Mail, City pizza ban in Pep flab attack. Basically, Gal Clichy's revealed, he was put up for press conference, has revealed that anyone that's, just a few pounds over their target weight will not be allowed to train with the City squad. They'll be put in some kind of boot camp with a conditioning coach.
Look, you played, Alan. And let me bring Alan again. Now, it's difficult. Some players are content and happy. They might be 1 or 2 kilos over, but only 1 or 2. Everyone can't be like a greyhound. We're all different.
Well, not everyone can be like Clichy, because he is nice and slim, isn't he? So it's probably a lot to do with naturally being that way. But I think what Guardiola is looking for, if you look at his teams, they're quick, they're nippy, they're very intense. And he's got 1 or 2 play Yaya Toure. I wonder if he was one of the ones that went into the fat club.
Yeah, Yaya has no chance. It's Tata Yaya.
I think you make a great point, because City, they laboured a bit last year. They're not the youngest of squads, are they? And he's already brought in Zinchenko, the young Ukrainian, and he's after, according to today's paper, he's after a couple of other youngsters as well, Gabriel Jesus and Marlos Moreno. These are 2 19-year-olds from South American football. That's in The Guardian, along with Leroy Sané, the German winger. So he's clearly looking to freshen it out with younger, fitter players. And let's be honest, when you looked at City last year, I think that's what they needed. They needed an injection of youth into that team, and I don't think it'll do any harm. What surprises me, boys, is that a modern player will actually come back from their holidays overweight. I mean, it used to happen as a matter of course. It was almost a rite of passage. The managers would say, well, look, don't worry about it. Have a rest, eat what you like. Yeah, come back, we'll burn it off.
Who's the biggest player you ever at Ipswich, Al, when you who was the biggest player?
Do you remember, he's gone now. Remember Alan Bond, who was a young player, a young star from Dagenham. He was crikey, he must have been 15, no, he must have been 13 stone even at 14.
When I was, my first year,
he'd come back, and he was meant to be a superstar. It never happened from him. Unfortunately, he's departed. He's gone.
I think my first pre-season at West Ham as a 16-year-old, Clyde Best.
Well, he was a big lump anyway, wasn't he?
And he was Ernie Gregory was one of the coaches there. They put layers and layers of training kit on him. We went running through Epping Forest, and he couldn't move. He was like a mummy. He had so much gear on him, and I always remember we had to chase this runner. 20-minute run. By the time Bestie caught us up, we went again for another 20 minutes. Really? He ran for an hour without stopping. Yeah, but he couldn't move. Yeah, he lost no weight either.
But the game is different now, Clarky. This will surprise you. My best season for Ipswich, in fact, my best season in football, I got 28 goals. I was 13-10.
Was you really?
13-10.
Yeah, I'm just touching that these days.
13-10.
Amazing now. Yeah, well, it goes to show.
Did you get 28 in your whole career?
Afraid not. Yeah, if I got 10 a season, I was happy.
I'm only kidding.
How many with your right foot?
2.
None with me head ever.
No, I was heavy, but I was heavy. Yeah. Not fat. I'm fat now, but I wasn't then.
Well, I remember at Arsenal, Bruce Reel, we had an exercise where the manager...
I'm only 14 too.
The manager, yeah, right. The manager would deliberately put one of the slower players or one of the more overweight players, and I remember being in Merson's team, and you had to drag the slow coach to the finish line. It was like an assault course, and it was all about getting your heaviest player to the finishing line before the other teams. It can be part of it, but these days things are very different.
Actually, going back to what you're saying, the way the footballers are looked after now, especially in the Premier League, sports scientists, dietitians, chefs.
No excuse.
Well, they don't drink now either, do they? They don't drink.
There's no excuse for them players. Forget the money. There's no excuse for them players to come back over.
And I bet they're not that overweight, really.
Well, I'll give you an example, right? Because some players still look after themselves. Down at Monaco, the Grand Prix, 3 times during the night I was rooming with Parlour. I thought, what's that? Because I'm a light sleeper. What's that? Parlour was up doing press-ups and sit-ups in the middle of the night. He was hammered, but he was still doing his press-ups and sit-ups. A disgrace. We're back with Clark in a minute, 7:15.
The Alan Brazil Sports Breakfast on TalkSport with Ford. This July at participating dealers. Get £500 off a new car or van when you take it for a test drive. Selected vehicles, terms and conditions apply.
Is now your kid's sleep time? Maybe it's your take out the recycling time. Or, if you're enjoying some you time, it could be the perfect time to renew your tax credit. Your world isn't 9 to 5, so neither's ours. That's why you can renew your tax credits online, day or night. You've only got a few days left to renew. Visit gov.uk/manage tax credits before July 31st. We're ready when you are.
We believe in Team GB. That's why we're supporting them all the way to Rio and celebrating them with our latest special buys. Just look at this lineup. Team GB ladies and men's hoodies, just $14.99 each. Cool-looking Team GB backpacks, only $9.99 each. Team GB ladies and men's polo shirts, $7.99 each. Plus so much more. And while Team GB champion great British quality abroad, we'll be flying the flag for quality and value back home. Aldi Team GB special buys, in store this Thursday.
Oh, woke up, woke the kids up, sizzled some sausages, burnt some bacon, fueled up, found the helmets, got the bikes out, slathered on sun cream, pumped up, adjusted Timmy's pirate flag, planned the route, rode into the sunshine, pedalled our hearts out, inhaled the fresh air and the smell of cowpat, struggled uphill, coasted downhill, explored the woods, stopped at the park, swung on the swings, slid down the slide, got muddy, got hungry, got back on the bikes, pedalled on home. Whether it's kids, adult, mountain or road bikes you're after, you can now get an extra 20% off all bikes at Halfords in-store or online. Halfords, for life's journeys.
Introducing SmartFinger. The new digital technology that can transform a monthly budget into a lovely new car. You'll find yours conveniently placed next to your thumb. Use it to search cars by monthly payment at motors.co.uk. You might be able to afford a nicer car than you thought. Oh, yeah. Get your SmartFinger out and find the right car for you at motors.co.uk.
Colin Murray, weekday mornings from 10 on TalkSport with Wicks. Every weekday morning, get opinionated comment.
You play? No, exactly. I've played more for Spurs than he has.
Exclusive interviews.
Usain Bolt.
I always know what I need to do, so when I go out, I just get it done.
And unmissable debate.
People in the street like me, and listen up. Yeah, that's what all losers say.
From the biggest names in sports broadcasting every day.
Unbelievable, breathtaking stuff.
Colin Murray, weekday mornings from 10 on TalkSport with Wicks. Let's do it right.
Talk Sport, traffic and travel.
In Hornchurch, the A125 Upper Rainham roads closed each way between Laburnum Avenue and Elm Park Avenue because of a burst water main. In Mottingham, the A208 White Horse Hill is closed each way because of a burst water main. There are diversions in place for a number of buses diverting too. In the city, London Wall's closed eastbound off Moorgate because of a gas leak. In Chelsea, Cheney Walk is partly blocked westbound by an accident just after Battersea Bridge. And there are queues on the A127 coming into town through Harold Wood because of the roadworks. It's down to a single lane in both directions. I'm Russell Holding.
Right, so we've got the money.
Yep.
Passports.
Yep.
High-vis jacket.
Yep.
Warning triangle.
Yep.
You paid the Dartford crossing charge.
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
If you're travelling on the M25 and using the Dartford crossing this summer between 6 a.m. and 10 p.m, there's one more thing to remember. To pay Dart charge. Pay in advance online, by phone, at Payzone retail outlets or by post. You have till midnight the day after crossing. Failure to pay will result in a penalty charge notice. Search for Dart charge online.
Tickets?
Yeah. Oh, sorry, love.
By the fridge.
TalkSport's got all the wallet-busting moves as they happen in our dedicated transfer updates throughout the day and online anytime at talksport.com.
We had a long flight last night, a short session this morning. We could have left Mama Sacco here because he's filming me while I give the interview here.
Yeah. I have just one question. Yeah. How long do you think you can live here?
Oh, actually, I don't have to think about it. You should think about it. Because only one of us came late last night for departure in Liverpool. Ah, it was not me. Ah, then it was you, by the way. We are here because we want to leave Mama here.
7:20, Mamadou Sakho and Jurgen Klopp from Liverpool TV as Klopp finally had enough of Sakho's antics. Clarkie, just listen to this. This is brilliant, and I'm not sure you're aware of this. Alan Kirbush in the break that was telling me. Tell us a little bit about what you were saying about drinks after training and before training. Just wait to hear this, Clarkie. This is
sports science.
South End.
Sports science now, which is a major part of the game, and they have a big role to play. Basically, from the moment that a player would walk in the morning, he's tested straight away for dehydration and whatever. They take samples from him, and then that next hour or so is tailored to what they feel that player needs before he starts training. So it might be a special drink, it may be a special breakfast. Then they go into a 30-minute to 40-minute stretching exercise.
Cracky, what time do they get in there? At 6?
They don't turn up at 5 to 6 like you did today. But then they go into a pre-activation injury prevention, and it's a half hour to 40 minutes where they stretch. And certainly, if you've had an injury before, you work hard on making sure that is warmed up. And then they go and train. And then once they've finished training, as they walk into the dressing room, they're immediately given a recovery drink, recovery food, etc. So these players now are a little bit like robots, if you like, but they are given every opportunity, firstly, to be as fit as they can possibly be, and secondly, to prevent injuries.
Yeah. So as a manager, right, I've got my badges now, Clarkie, so I'm a manager. I put a session on, and it's all about forward play. But my centre forward comes in, and the shrinks look at him, they test him, they say, sorry boss, I don't think he should train today.
Yeah, I mean, that's
your session up the spout.
Yeah, there is them situations where the sports scientists and the medical team could possibly pull players from training sessions because they've tested them early and saying that they're on the limit, or they may have played on a Saturday and really pushed to their utmost. And because of the tests they've done, they can tell that this player is in danger if he trains again too early of taking an injury. So, the way the game has moved on, I've been talking to Alan earlier because I've got a book coming out where I've interviewed so many people within the game, and the way the game has changed over the years.
The book is called Game Changers. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah.
So, Clarkie, let me ask you, Clarkie, with your coaching badges, with the sports science, how did Liverpool, how did Forest, how did Villa, how did Ipswich win Europe, how did we do it, how did Aberdeen win in Europe, when we were on fish and chips after games and 6 pints of lager a night? How did we do it?
But you're up against teams that are probably doing the same, Al.
Oh, what, German teams, Spanish teams, Italian teams? I don't think so.
Maybe not.
I think it was heart and ability.
Yeah, look, there's no excuse for having a rubbish session these days, is there? You really are just rubbish because everything else is
the trouble is you can give them players all the ingredients you want, but if they haven't got... If you could bottle enthusiasm and hunger...
Of course.
Then we'll give it to them all day.
Well, yeah, talking of that, Mamadou Sakho has been sent home. That was what the music in that intro was all about.
He looks a watery character anyway, doesn't he? Let's be honest. Come on, get rid.
We don't know him. I mean, he interrupted that interview with Jurgen Klopp, and it was all smiles and a bit of laughing and joking at the time. But it seems as if he has been banished because he's injured, by the way. So
he's an accident, went out.
Maybe, and that with this story, it does make me wonder if it was a different player, if it was someone maybe Jurgen Klopp fancied a little bit more.
He wouldn't dare
then maybe he wouldn't dare do this. He may be making a statement here, look, you need to toe the line. Okay, you're injured, but we're on pre-season, you have to behave yourself. This isn't a holiday camp, and I think that's the message he's sending out to everybody else. And because potentially he doesn't see Sakho as part of his first choice lineup, he feels he can afford to do that.
I mean, I must admit, if he's took Sakho out on the tour, he does feel as if he's part of the plans. He's obviously injured, but he wants to. We hear this word so often. He wants the group together, not the squad, the group together. So, he's took him out there while he's injured because obviously all the medical people must be there as well. So, and something has gone on where he's been late for this and not done that, and he has laid the law down now.
Clarkie, give me one more.
Yeah, Arsenal.
Stop waffling. Yes. Give me one more.
Arsenal, Daily Mail, Arsenal to buy after Per injury. Now, Per Mertesacker is out for several months. It's reported it could be 5 months with a knee injury. Bit of a hammer blow for the Gunners. I think they should have been after a centre-half anyway, but it just makes that issue slightly more urgent now. Some of the names linked, Manolas at Roma, Shah, the Swiss player, Mustafi, who was on the bench for Germany at Euro 2016. Good players. I think Manolas would be a
How
terrific
much? 2 million?
Well, I don't know. I think Arsenal should aim as high as possible because, in my view, they do need a top-class centre-back to play alongside Koscielny. In the Star, it says Gunners fail with £29 million bid for striker. This is Lacazette, the Lyon player. They went in a little bit low for him yesterday, according to reports. It's been rebuffed. Will they go back in for him? I'm not quite sure. Again, is he an upgrade on Olivier Giroud? I think the fans are looking for someone maybe a little bit more high-profile and proven than Lacazette, who's done okay. Season before last, brilliant for Lyon. Last year, not quite as good. I think only 17 goals in Ligue 1. So it appears that they're in for him. But I suspect he's not the only one. The other one I just want to quickly mention, I teased it before 7, Roberto Martinez. This is in the Sun. The Sun have got this one fairly exclusively. Tigers make Mart move. Of course, Steve Bruce has stepped aside. Roberto Martinez could be in line for a quick return to the Premier League at Hull City. Apparently he's met the owner Ihab Alam already ahead of the interviews, and I guess that would be a good acquisition for Hull, although you would suspect that they're looking at a survival bid. And is Roberto, with his defensive record, the right guy for them moving forward?
Well, I hear in your voice, Clark, you think not.
I think he would
You're
make.
so negative.
Well,
today.
not at all. I like Roberto Martinez. I love the football.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
No, I do. I like the football his teams produce, but there are major question marks over his ability to forge a strong rearguard. He hasn't been able to do it at Wigan.
Whoever takes that job is a hell of a job.
Yeah,
to stay in the Premier, a hell of a job.
They've not been able to really bring in anyone this summer, have they, of note? So, whoever takes that job. I wondered if Ryan Giggs might be given the nod there. Of course,
he's going to take your badges, Clark. You might get it.
We shall see, but Roberto Martinez is in pole position for the whole job.
Nice one, Adrian Clark. Thank you.